Don't let them trick you into getting your ass whooped again.
We have a special guest here today. We'll be bringing him in.
I'm here to support my my boxer.
No Floyd Mayweather. Why not Floyd Mayweather? Why isn't he in the top five?
Floyd Mayweather, he's running the whole 12 rounds and he won the fight. How is that? I mean, you know, I feel sorry to the fans because the fight is boring. You know, the fight is boring. Like,
He's older than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm still young, so what I have done and accomplished in boxing, I think it's one of a kind because to get a different weight division is not that easy. And I'm not trying to boast what I have accomplished in life, but I'm just saying this to repeat. You might forget that the best fighter in the world has a humility.
I'm not here to talk about your personal life. When we talk about, you know, what's going on.
Even after a decade since their iconic fight of the century, there still seems to be some unspoken tension between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Recently, Mayweather interrupted a conference and aggressively shoved Pacquiao. At first, it appeared to be a joke, but his demeanor suggested otherwise. He walked away immediately and never returned to speak with Pacquiao. 2. The moment shocked everyone, especially since Pacquiao was receiving warm congratulations and handshakes from fellow professionals. Rumors suggest that a particular comment Pacquiao made may have triggered Mayweather's reaction.
How would you describe your career? How would you describe your career?
my career. I don't want to raise my own chair.
Manny, who are the top 5 fighters you ever fought, you think?
Fans didn't hold back their criticism. One fan wrote, "I think Floyd Mayweather has done more harm than good to boxing. He turned it into a money-driven sport and killed the hunger for legacy. Fighters now prefer protecting their unbeaten record instead of taking on the toughest opponents. It just doesn't make sense."
Barrera, Morales, Marquez, De La Hoya, Cotto, what else? Cotto, Margarito.
Why no Floyd Mayweather?
Another commenter added, "Mayweather might be a legend in the ring, but outside of it, he acts like a clueless and reckless pauper." So, what exactly did Pacquiao say? During an interview, he was asked which opponents gave him the most challenging and unforgettable fights. He paused, clearly thinking deeply before listing Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Oscar de la Hoya, and Miguel Cotto.
It's boring. Like, that's not the fans are expecting to us. I mean, as a fighter, if I'm a fan, of course I want to see a good fight, like changing fight, not a fashion show.
Is that rematch still in
Right? We need action. Like,
All the names he mentioned are boxing legends and Hall of Famers. But what stood out was the noticeable absence of Floyd Mayweather from the list. Mayweather, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time and the winner of their 2015 bout, was left out entirely. That fight, which fans waited years to see, ended in a unanimous decision victory for Mayweather. But many found it underwhelming. Pacquiao explained his reasoning bluntly. Mayweather just ran for 12 rounds and still won. "I felt bad for the fans. It was a boring fight. That's not what people wanted to see."
there's no problem.
So go back to before the Mayweather fight. Just take us back through what happened to your shoulder. Was it about 3 weeks before when you tore your rotator cuff?
My shoulder has been bothering me since 2009.
And that statement may have been what set Mayweather off. Reflecting on that 2015 clash, Pacquiao claimed a right shoulder injury limited his performance. He also revealed that Nevada officials denied his team's request for an anti-inflammatory injection before the fight. Pacquiao said, "It's part of the game."
And then I just handle it every training. But it just happened that Mayweather training, we push harder than any training that we had.
in the past. So that's what happened. I got hurt, and then but we actually managed that after maybe 2 weeks before the fight, and then 3 weeks before the fight.
Pacquiao emphasized that he didn't want to make excuses, but admitted fighting one-handed is tough. His trainer Freddie Roach and promoter Bob Arum were vague about the injury's details, but admitted they had considered postponing the fight. Arum later praised Pacquiao's courage and said, "Under the circumstances, I'm proud of what he did tonight." Reportedly, the injury was similar to the one that ended Kobe Bryant's season when he tore his rotator cuff in early 2015.
3 weeks before the fight, the pain is gone, so I able to raise my hands and move.
But did they say it was torn at that point?
The doctor said that there's a torn a little bit, but
Although Arum wasn't specific about the exact injury, he did confirm that Pacquiao had seen the same doctor who treated Kobe Bryant. Pacquiao's team believed the shot would be allowed as it had been used during training and was approved by the United States Anti-Doping Agency. However, due to incorrect paperwork submitted by Top Rank, the Nevada Athletic Commission denied their request. Commission Chairman Francisco Aguilar stated that the injury was not disclosed until the night of the fight, which led to the rejection of both the shot and the request to have Pacquiao's personal doctor ringside.
if you decide to get operated after the fight, then it's okay, but it can be healed
With time.
with time.
Yes.
If you don't even need operation, but when I realized, the doctor said that, but in
Aguilar clarified, "We weren't informed of the injury until 6:30 p.m. on fight night. The meds were on the form, but the injury wasn't. That's not how this works. We follow a process, and when someone tries to bypass it, it doesn't go in their favor." Despite being denied treatment, Pacquiao's team hoped he could still perform. Arum said that even with the shoulder limitations, they didn't regret letting him go ahead with the bout.
But in every training that you have, it will come back, the pain.
So
Because
against Floyd in the ring that night, did you feel handicapped where you couldn't throw with that, that
it's,
hand?
I feel like, disappointed in myself, because when I'm throwing punches in the fourth round, because
Fighters always carry injuries into the ring, Arum said. "We thought the therapy would help him use his right hand, but by the third round, it flared up again. It's common in sports. Athletes think they've recovered, only to re-injure themselves mid-game." Mayweather later confirmed that he, too, had injuries in both arms and hands. But he added, "I always find a way to win. If Pacquiao had beaten me, I would have given him full respect."
punches in the fourth round, because he's leaning on the rope and attacking him, starting my pressure to him. But I feel like when I throw my hands, I feel like I cut my hands. I feel like I don't have my right hand. So
Got it.
So
So
I
you're
feel
basically fighting with one arm, one hand,
Yeah.
right?
Mayweather continued, "My hands and arms were both injured, but I've always found a way to come out on top." The post-fight revelations about Pacquiao's injury add legitimacy to the talk of a potential rematch. He clearly wasn't fighting at 100%, which limited his offense and allowed Mayweather to control the pace. Freddie Roach praised Pacquiao's heart, but admitted his inability to throw the right hook hampered their game plan. "It was a close fight," Roach said. "We'd love a rematch. Hopefully it happens someday."
Arm, one hand,
Yes,
right?
so and then I feel no pain because of, I think because of your adrenaline is high. So, but I feel like I don't have a arm in my. I feel like it's cut.
Cut off.
Yeah, cut off.
I
yeah,
got it.
In
So
my right hand.
despite that, did you feel like you still won the fight?
After the fight of the century against Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao found himself facing a lawsuit, not from Mayweather but from fans. According to Reuters, the suit was filed in federal court in Nevada by Stephen Vannell and Cami Robrin. They accused Pacquiao of failing to disclose a shoulder injury and sought damages under consumer protection laws. The case also requested class action status to represent ticket holders, pay-per-view buyers, and gamblers. CNBC reported that the plaintiffs were demanding $5 million in damages. The fight, held in Las Vegas, ended with Mayweather maintaining his undefeated record via unanimous decision and went down as the highest-grossing bout in boxing history.
You feel like you still won the fight on points because he ran from you so much?
When I reviewed the fight, I threw a lot of punches than him, and then I connected more than he connected. But you know, like I said, I know how to accept loss.
But just an hour after the match, Pacquiao's promoter revealed that the boxer had sustained a shoulder injury during training. NPR's Tom Goldman reported that Pacquiao requested a pain-killing injection before the fight, but the Nevada Athletic Commission denied it. Why? Because on his official medical form, Pacquiao had declared himself fully fit. Bob Arum, Pacquiao's promoter, insisted the commission knew about the injury, and that paperwork for the medication had been submitted 5 days earlier. However, Commission Chairman Francisco Aguilar firmly denied this claim during the post-fight press conference. Meanwhile, Pacquiao was scheduled to undergo surgery for a torn rotator cuff.
Go.
According to the Associated Press, Pacquiao's failure to disclose the injury could lead to fines or even a suspension. But with a payday exceeding $100 million, he could afford both, along with the recovery time. World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman confirmed that Pacquiao had passed all required medical tests and retained his professional license from the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Oscar De La Hoya believes he won his fight against Mayweather.
Let me ask you this. I've heard you on several occasions said you feel that you beat Floyd in that fight.
Sure.
Why do you feel you won that fight?
You know, when you're a fighter inside the ring, when that final bell rings, you know it in your heart, in your gut, and physically, if you won or you lost. You just feel it. It's a sensation.
Still, some figures in the boxing community express concern over the long-term health risks Pacquiao could face, especially with talks of a comeback. On the other side, Floyd Mayweather remained largely respectful of most of his past opponents, except for one.
Mouthy guy or anything like that. We never had that kind of problem. And then always.
That's why I asked you where you were from.
Always.
You know.
Every now and then I would go out there and jog with him and stuff like that. You know, stuff like that. But other than...
When asked who he disliked the most in his career, Mayweather responded instantly. Oscar De La Hoya, their 2007 showdown for the WBC Super Welterweight title, was one of the most hyped fights in modern boxing history. Held in Las Vegas, it shattered financial records at the time, generating $130 million and drawing over 2.4 million pay-per-view buys.
Good guy, and Oscar got ready to do a lot of stuff with people. And
Where you trying to get a picture?
Oscar was one of the best.
Despite their tension, both fighters etched their names into boxing history. However, a rematch never materialized. Mayweather retired shortly after the fight, and De La Hoya followed suit later. Interestingly, Mayweather's father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., played a role in the rivalry and later admitted something shocking. He believed the decision in favor of his son may have been generous.
What have you learned from Floyd? What have you learned from Floyd? Junior,
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. We had, at one time, we was coming up, We have never had.
In an interview, he said, "If you're going by punches landed, Oscar should have won. But if you're judging on clean, single shots, then Floyd had the edge. He had solid defense. He blocked a lot with his shoulder and arms. Still, boxing is about landing punches. If you touch your opponent, you score. It was a close fight. But by the point system, Oscar might have had it."
To do. He wasn't no mouthy guy. You know, he would do what I tell him to do. He wasn't no mouthy guy or anything like that. We never had that kind of problem.